Next and final procedure on this part, well, it's not the final procedure, obviously I've got holes to do and various things for the cylinder head, but as far as machining goes on the actual part itself, we've just got to put these little holes in there, a couple of screw fixings. They are for the inlet, they're not for the inlet valve housing, they are for the water inlet and the water outlet, which must be on another drawing I would think, but anyway, that's what I've got to do. Tap 6BA 3/16 diameter hole straight through into the water chamber, both sides, so that we can connect the water pipes later on there and there. So let's get those faced off, drilled and tapped. Let me see if I can find the drawing for the actual caps. There's nothing on the drawing for these flanges that go on there for the water inlet. The only thing on the drawing is what you've just seen. So I think the flanges are left up to the builder how you want to bring your water in and take your water out, whether you want to come straight out, whether you want to go at an angle. But anyway, I'll machine the face off and yeah, we'll take it from there. Right, I don't want to go too deep because what I want to do is I want to be able to tap this and put some screws in there without going all the way through to the water jacket. I don't really want to puncture the water jacket with the screws, so they're not going to go very deep. What I've got to do realistically is just guess at the centre. There's no real other way to find the centre apart from a bit of guesswork. So I can turn it on. That's going to help, isn't it? Got 500 that way, so if I go 250, trying to get the permanent marker to dry. It's so cold in here that even the permanent marker is not drying properly. No, it's not dry, so it's not going to mark it, is it? Let's just give that a minute to dry. Right, I think I can see that. Yep, I can see that. So let's put the guessometer on the other way round. Somewhere there is, well, it's about 900. It's not 9, yeah, it's about 870. So if I go, what, 450, and then the same from that end. Well, that's given me a mark in the centre, so what I want to do now is find that mark. Lost my torch. I found my torch. Yeah, I can see that. So I'll get a centre in there. Somebody asked me in the last video, how did I square up the casting? Well, basically I just guessed. To square this end up, all you can do is try and pick a face that looks square and workable, and then start from there. You know, with a casting you haven't got anything square to start with, so you just have to pick a face, go for it, and then work everything off of that face. So anyway, I'm using a similar process for doing this, whereby I'm pretty much guessing at it, with the help of the magnifying glass, of course. Yep, there we go. Well, that's not guessing at it, that's finding the centre of what I've already guessed at. So anyway, let's zero out the DRO, because I'm going for some lunch, so when I come back it'll be either after lunch or the next day. Right, well, this is the next day now. It wasn't lunchtime, it's turned into the next day. But anyway, there's nothing on the drawings for this, no fittings or anything specified, there's no material supplied for them, so I'm going to have to make up some fittings. I'm guessing they're just sort of going to rely on builder experience to make the fittings you want. Well, I actually want my fittings to come out the side rather than just straight up, so I'll make something up for that. So all I'm going to do at the moment is drill the 3/16 hole in the centre and drill and tap for the two 6BAs. Right, I've got to go 280 either way and drill and tap for the 6BA. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down, just touch the surface, zero the quill DRO, and then come down 5mm and hope it doesn't break through. Right, so I've drilled through to 5mm now on a 6BA. I haven't broken through. I didn't really want to break through. I could break through into the water chamber. If I did break through by accident, then it'd be no big deal. I'd just seal the screws. So, but anyway, I haven't broken through. Even a 6BA bottom tap is not, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere with that one. I'll put it in. I'm not going to, you know, that doesn't get right down to the bottom. In fact, it only gets within a couple of millimeters of the bottom, but anyway, let's get on with it. Right, gonna flip that over, do the other side. Not going to record that because it's just a repeat of the same. Right, that's both sides drilled and tapped for 6BA, hole through to the water jacket. I'm going to set this to one side now because I want to do the cylinder liner next. So that'll be over to the lathe for the cylinder liner. Right, we've got this cylinder liner to do now. Apparently I've got to stop using the drawings to show you what I'm doing anyway, basically, otherwise I'm going to end up with a copyright strike. So that's the cylinder liner. It's cast iron. It needs to be, if I draw it out like that, we got 1.25 inches inside from there to there, and from there to there is 1 inch and 7/16. Overall here to that point there and that point there is 1.5 inches. Overall from this end to this end is 3 3/4, and there's a little hole to go in here somewhere for oil, but that'll go in once I fit it into the chamber. So what I've got to do now is to get this piece of cast iron in the lathe. I'm going to chuck it up from one end, put a centre in, put a centre in, machine the outside dimensions, which will be along here. I'll machine those dimensions, and then what I'll do is I'll put the steady on, I'll put a fixed steady on, and then I'll bore the inside, and hopefully, fingers crossed, wind in the right direction, it'll all fit. So over to the lathe. Right, I've got 4 and 5/8, and I need 3.5, including the shoulder. Plus I need to be able to get a parting tool in. So parting tool is about there. That's all I need for that. So I measure roughly where we're at, 3 3/4, which is there. I'll go another 1/8 to face it off, plus another 1/4 at least for the parting tool. Wow, that's not much in the lathe, is it? That's not much in the lathe. Crikey, they ain't giving anything away there, are they? Right, we need to get that down. Initially, I'm just going to face this end a little bit and then bring it down to the full length at 3 3/4 and leaving it 1.5 inches wide at this end. Right, I've got to cut down now to the shoulder, which is 3688. So I've got to go 3688, and I've got to come down to 1438. So if I zero the dial now, it'll make it easier. Good. Perfect. Right, that's the outside done. I'll get the steady rest fixed on here now, and then we can start boring out the centre. Right, there's another side project coming up. I bought this steady rest, I can't remember when, but I bought it some time ago anyway. It doesn't fit my foot. It's too tall for a start, and the mounting of it has got a V-groove in there, which of course the Myford has different ways. It only has the flat ways, so it won't, if it's on there, it's too tall for a start, so I need to reduce it down by at least 10mm. What I plan to do is mill most of this base off, rebating out these corners so that it sits nicely centrally into the Myford. So that's another unexpected side project, so I'll get over to the mill and get on with that. Right, I know I'm going to have a lot of stick out here, but it needs to go that way, otherwise the table's not going to reach. It's a fairly solid piece, so I'm pretty happy that it should be okay for what I want to do. Right. And I've zeroed out that. Oh, there we go. Showing 0 there and 0 there. Yep, I'm happy with that. What I was doing there is I put a slot in there so I can actually measure how much the cutter is cutting, and it is cutting very slightly under 12, which will be fine. Sits in the groove okay. It's not looking too bad. Right, I've set that up. That shim stock is 2/1000ths of an inch, and I've set that up so that's just sort of on that 2/1000ths of an inch, which should be okay. I'm happy with that. I don't want it rubbing because this is quite soft, this metal, and I don't want it to wear, so I'll keep an eye on it. We're pretty much set up now. Should be able to remove the centre and start boring out now. that's okay. I've left it back just in case I do get a slight bit of wear on there, because this part is actually in the, that part there is in the water chamber. It's just this front bit that's in fact I'll let that cool down a bit, it's quite warm. Of course, as that increases in heat, it's probably closer to the fingers. As you can see, we've got a ton of stick out on this, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to sing like hell, I'm guessing. Let's give it a go. I can see what's going to happen here. We're not going to get the full travel because of the steady. That's as far as we go. That's as far as we go. Oh, now what? Now what? Right, this is one of the bigger boring bars I made. This is like 15mm. I've got to go quite a way with this. This is going to be, you know, a good couple of hours, I reckon, boring this out to dimension. So anyway, I'm going to crack on. I'm not going to film it all, obviously, because there's nothing to see. Right, I've switched over to the big bar now to do the final passes. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's it's okay. That's up to a honeable state. Right, that feels pretty consistent all the way down. That is 46, 47. That's 247. That's within 3 thou. By the time I hone that, that'll be 250. Perfect. Gonna get in there and start honing it now. Yep, I'm pleased with that. There is a tiny mark on there, it's just polish, I can't feel a thing on there. So anyway, 16th is what I need down here, right down here. What I want to do is just come in and just make sure this edge here is really clean right in there, because that's got to sit down onto the casting. cylinder is 124. So if I go over, zero that, go over 124, zero that, and then I want to come over 116. Right, so I come over 063 and part it off. Something doesn't look right there. That doesn't. I think this corner is out. Something's not right there. Yeah. Kind of figured that. Right, that's where we're at. Right, everything's locked down. Let's go for it. There we go. It's off. I'll just clean it up on a stone and then I'll be back. Here is the finished cylinder liner. It's honed out. I don't know if you can see. You might just be able to see the slight hatched pattern in there where I've honed it. There is a 1 thou taper inside, which is more likely my lathe rather than the actual boring bar, but I'm really pleased how it's turned out. I know you can see a mark here. It's more of a polish than a mark. You can't actually feel a thing, and the bearing surface is only it's only there and there. The rest of this middle piece is in the water jacket, so it doesn't make any difference. My only thing I'm not too chuffed about is I've got a tiny little groove in there from the little oops I made on the parting tool. So anyway, it is what it is. It's fine because it'll I'll put some sealant in there when I push this into the sleeve of the water jacket, when I push this sleeve into the water jacket anyway. So that'll probably help rather than hinder. Yeah, I'm really pleased how that's turned out. That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. I would also appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button, because that will enable me to grow the channel so that I can keep making these videos. Please leave a comment or a question. I do read all of the comments and reply to as many as I can. Thanks for watching.